Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I have 10 Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs. For the first DIY, I take this home sign and then I cut away the home part with a box cutter. And then I take a Dollar Tree sanding block and sand the edges and make them smooth. Then I paint the inside with some ivory chalk paint and I give it 2 coats to colour the pumpkin. And then I put some spackle in the holes of these little Christmas tree decorations. And then I just sand it off when it is dry. And I use this classic green folk art paint to paint one Christmas tree, and then I use the truffle Waverly chalk paint to paint the trunk, and I use a tissue to wipe off the excess paint so that it still looks like wood through it. And then I use the same green paint and some ivory chalk paint and mix them up to make a lighter green, and I paint 2 of the Christmas trees with that, and then I make an even lighter green for the next 2 Christmas trees. And I use some folk art metallic pure gold paint for the stars. And then I'm just going to hot glue them inside, starting with the lightest ones, and then the next lightest ones. And I put a popsicle stick on the back of them so that they will hold them up. And then I put the darkest one in the middle, and I put popsicle stick on it, but it didn't really matter. You don't need it on that one. And I think this turned out really cute. Just a nice, cute, simple Christmas decoration. I'm just going to cut the hanger off this Let It Snow sign, and then I'm going to paint it with some Waverly chalk paint in the colour Ocean. And all I do is I do it in sections and I paint some on, and then I rub it off so that you can see the wood. Well, not see the wood, but it doesn't just look like a layer of paint. And then I do the entire sign, and then I took this snowflake decoration from Dollar Tree and I just took the back off it so it would lay flat, and then I hot glued it on. And then I got some Mod Podge and the artificial snow from Dollar Tree, and I just dot on some Mod Podge and sprinkle over the snow. And I only do that on the word snow, well, the S, the S, N and the W, and that's it. And I think it turned out really cute. Just another simple Christmas decoration, because I don't actually have any. I only ever put up a tree, so I'm making them for you guys and really for myself too. And I have these 3 wee ballerinas, and all I do is I cut off the little I don't know what to say. I cut off the little thing so you can hang them, and then I just sanded off the rough parts. And then I have these 3 canvases, and I'm showing you this pool colour, but I don't use that. I use the ocean colour like in the last video. And I forgot to film the part where I just sprinkled on the artificial snow while the paint was still wet. And then I just hot glue the ballerinas to the canvases, and this wasn't my original idea for these ballerinas, but my original idea didn't work, so I had to think of something else, and I came up with this, and I'm happy with them. I think they turned out really pretty. So I'm just taking some tumbling tower blocks to make them into a stand. Also, they all stand up. And I thought one would be enough, but I ended up putting 2 on the back of each, and then I line them up so that I can get them to stay, to all stand up at the same angle. So you just added another one to the back of each. And I decided they were a bit plain. You could leave them, they did look nice like that, but I decided just to use some hot glue and add some snow to the bottom. And this is how they turned out. I love them. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and which DIY in this video is your favourite. And next I have this stag head, and I'm just going to take the little decoration off the front, and then I didn't show it, but I painted it with the truffle chalk paint. And then I took the back off this little house and I sanded it down, made it all smooth. And then I took some of the Dollar Tree vinyl and cut it out and stuck it on the back of the house. Oh, you can take that sticker off if you want, but I didn't. I just trimmed off the edges. And I stained it outside with some Waverly Antique Wax, and then I stained that with the Antique Wax, and that little circle thing I stained with, I painted with the black ink chalk paint. And then I just start assembling it with some hot glue. Oh, and that's the circle I got. You'll see where I got that from in a DIY later in this video. Oh, and then I just attached the little tinsel and bell and stuff that was on it when I got it. And I think it turned out really cute. But the stag head looks really light on camera, but it's actually much darker in person. And I found this little square piece of wood at Dollar Tree, and I'm using some of the Dollar Tree vinyl, and I wrote, what did I write? Dear Santa, I was naughty, but it was worth it. I didn't write it, I found it on Cricut Design Space, and I didn't really like this vinyl, but I did want to have the buffalo check for the letters, but it honestly was hard to work with for these letters for sure. So I just stick them to the sign, and well, it's going to be a sign. I stick them to the wood. Yeah, this vinyl was annoying. And I printed it so many times, trying different settings, and what did I end up doing? Some sticker paper or something, because I have a Cricut Joy and it just doesn't have as many settings as the bigger Cricut. So then I just stained it with some Waverly chalk paint, and then I made a stand for the back. And I added some more. The tumbling tower blocks, I can't remember what they're called there. I just added one more. And then I found these wee pine cones at Dollar Tree, so I thought I would decorate with them with this. These are my Dollar Trees. Didn't have that much stuff in them. They didn't have much Christmas greenery. There wasn't a lot of Christmas stuff, and I went to 3 different ones. So I just add that on with some hot glue. And it was a pain to do the letters, but it did turn out nice. I paint one of these plaques with some white Waverly chalk paint, and then I take some antique wax for around the edges, and I just brush it on and then wipe it off. And I did this because I just wanted to see what it looked like if I put the white on first, and I did quite like it, because I was just gonna do the chalk paint. No, I was just gonna do the antique wax and then paint the top white. So I just thought I would see what it looked like. And then I have these little cobblestone corner miniatures, and I'm going to repaint them because they just look like plastic, and yeah, I want to make them look a bit nicer. And next I take some Mod Podge and brush it on the top, and a thin layer, and then I sprinkle on some of the artificial snow. And if you do it on a piece of paper, then you can just put the excess back in the bag and not waste it. And then I just hot glued on some more of these cobblestone corner pieces. I did the white trees, and then I took a Welcome to the North Pole sign out one of the other ones. And this, I pulled the tree out of this as I wasn't sure if I wanted the tree or not. If I kept it, I had to glue it back in, and then I just glued down the other pieces, and then I Mod Podged some more snow to the top of them. And it turned out so cute. It's taking a wee trip to the North Pole. And this is where I got that round circle that I did in the Stag DIY. And it came off easy, but oh my god, the back of this was so hard to get off. So I used the box cutter to try and loosen it off, and it came off eventually. And then I took the box cutter to take off the little square, and I also sanded off these extra little leftover part. I paint the other side with the Ocean Waverly Antique Wax, and then I paint like this oh my god, the green parts on this bench I painted with some ink chalk, Waverly chalk paint. And then I painted the little wreath and bow with some red and green chalk paint. No, that's not chalk paint, that's folk art paint. And then I used truffle to paint the outside frame. Next I apply this Merry Christmas that I made on my Cricut Joy. I'm just putting the pieces in place so I can see where I'm going to stick down my letters. And then I just use some Mod Podge and make some dots everywhere, and then I pour over some of the fake snow. And I also do the same with the wee bench and the lamppost. Then I just glue the back, glue this part back on, and then it looked bad on the back, so I decided to paint it with the truffle chalk paint. And then I just put some Mod Podge and some of the fake snow on the bottom, and then I hot glue the pieces in place. And then I distressed it edges with the sanding blocker, just a little bit. And I think I made this Dear Santa one as well, but I didn't show. I just did the exact same thing for that. But I thought these turned out so cute, and I'm going to see what other cobblestone corner pieces I can find to make some more. I glued together some tumbling tower blocks, 2 rows of 5 and 2 rows of 6. I stained it with the Waverly Antique Wax, and I painted the back of this sign with some ink chalk paint. And then I cut off the front of this gift bag with some scissors. And then I glued it to the sign with a glue stick. And then I trimmed off the excess. I didn't show it, but I glued the blocks together to make a frame. And then I'm just measuring here to see where my frame would end, and then I use a box cutter to cut off the sides, but I make it a little bit smaller so that it won't be right at the very edge and you won't see it at the edge. And I do this for both sides. And then I just hot glue it all together. And you could make this a hanging picture with some twine and a popsicle stick, but I decided I wanted to make it a standing picture. And then I glue it together with some hot glue. And then I put some extra glue along the back. And then I used some tower blocks. I have 6 here, but then I got another 3 to make a stand for the back. Yeah, I just hot glued those ones on top. And then I think it turned out so pretty. I just love this picture, it's so Christmassy. It reminds me of Scotland. I painted this jolly sign with some ink Waverly chalk paint. I found these camels and star on Cricut Design Space, and the camels were joined together, so I just cut them into separate pieces, and I already made 2, and I just stick them on, trying to line them up as best as I can, and then this is what they look like. And I've had this sticker left over, so I decided to put it on the front, on head enough for the front, and I painted over it in black. And if I see the stickers again at Dollar Tree, I will get another pack so that I can do the other sides. And then I've taken the tumble tower blocks and I make 1 row of 5 and then a row of 4, and then I stick that on top. Oh no, it's a row of 5 and a row of 3, sorry. And then I made this on my Cricut Joy, and then I just attach it to the front of the base. And then I glued down the tower blocks, and it's the 3 wise men on their way to Bethlehem. And I think this turned out so beautiful, and I think this might be my favourite DIY of the video. So I had this little cardboard piece from something I bought in IKEA, and I'm just using 4 paint sticks, and I'm just going to measure them and then cut them to size and then glue them to the sides of the box. And then I stain everything with the antique wax. So I didn't show you me gluing it together, but I'm just putting some extra hot glue around the bottom edge. And then I have some of the stickers in gold, so I'm just going to cut them so that they will fit each side of the box. And then I cut out more pieces to decorate the inside of the box. If I had enough strips, I would just do the full strip around the inside edge. So next thing I do is I take some gem tack glue, and then I just glue on some of the little half pearls. I found this jar at Dollar Tree, and I knew I needed to do something with it for Christmas. And the other bottles are all from Dollar Tree, and I've already had them for a while. So I'm going to take the top off one of them to make that little one into a bottle. And then I just paint the inside of the jar with some metallic gold paint, and I had to give it 3 coats. And I paint the inside because I want the outside to look like glass. And then I mix up some of the classic green and gold paint, and then I pour it in the bottle, and then I keep moving the bottle around till the inside is all covered. And then I just put it upside down and leave it to dry. And then I used some red chalk paint, crimson chalk paint with the gold. I just squirted it inside this time. And then mixed it around with a paintbrush before I twirled around the glass. So now these are dry, this is what they look like. That one was mercury glass, so I'm just going to leave that one plain, and I'm going to decorate the gold one and the red one. And I had all these gems and half pearls from Dollar Tree, so I just start decorating the gold jar with them. And you can pick any colours of bottles, any shape of bottles that Dollar Tree has, or you could pick whatever colour gems. You don't have to decorate the same as me, you can mix it up. I'm just using what I already had in the house. And then I just continue to do that for the entire lid, and then I did the sides as well. There's only one side. I did the bottom half as well, and then I used this pearl ribbon, and I just cut 6 strips, and then I glue them to the little bottle with some gem tack glue. And I just did 1 strip and then left 2. I just spaced it out. As you can see, I did put it in the grooves. What am I trying to say? I put it in the groove, then I left 2 grooves, and then did another groove, and then I used 6. And I didn't show you, but I just put one pearl in the middle of each of those the pearl wrap strips. Sometimes it's hard to explain stuff when you're watching it. And then I made gold, frankincense and myrrh on my cricket, and I'll just showing you one, but I stuck it to a popsicle stick, and then I'm just cutting it down to make a little tag. It's just sanded off the edges, and then I drill a wee hole in it so that I can fit some ribbon through it. Oh, and I stained it with the Waverly Antique Wax, and then I got some gold ribbon and I'm just putting it through. But you want to make sure the loop is like going, I made it so that it was covering up the hole, if that makes sense. You'll see when it's done. So it looked a bit fancier, and then I just tie it on. I was going to do a bow, but then I changed my mind, so I just tied it around and decided to just leave it hanging, and then I just snip off the ends. And I do the same for the myrrh and the frankincense, but I use matching ribbons. I didn't have any straw, so I used some Spanish moss to display it. I love how these turned out. I just think it's so beautiful. Yeah, I'm really happy with them. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.